When I'm in the club with my thugs and I wanna make love, but the bitches just wanna subscribe. I like a real OG, like the triple B, and say fuck you, AB. Stop! This is the remix, bitch.
That's right.
When I'm in the club with my thugs and I want make love, but the bitches wanna be with the real OG, like the triple B, and shout fuck you, AB. Oh yes, yeah. I found that in one of my old videos. Yeah, the AB about billions, man. That's kind of cool. I might have to remix that and do it properly. I like rapping. You know, I want to be a rapper like Roy Jones, Gay J. You know, the best rapper was, funny enough, the boxing was Jarrell Miller. You know, they had I don't know, in America when he was gonna fight Gay J, they had AJ rapping. He was a bit whack. Some of his lyrics were best rapper in the UK. That's right. There's only one Gay J. And it was a bit whack, his flow and stuff. And Jarrell Miller went on and just killed it, blood. Anyway, yeah, rapping. But so. What we got? We're talking about, man. Liam Williams vs Hamzah, Sheeraz. Now, man, that's another great fight from Fish Eyes, Bricktop, man. He's taking over. As Eddie Hearn, and the zone flounders. Yeah, he will fool himself, Hearn, but you know, I'm not a fan of Fish Eyes and his secret societies and so on. But man, you gotta listen. This is a boxing game and a real life game. You got to give credit where credit's due. And Fish Eyes keeps putting out them good fights, even though he's been defending a whackness of Fury. Look, these are the two best boxers in the world. Yeah. I mean, the two best fighters in the world. You've got two men from two different disciplines. Yeah, Frankie Fish Eyes don't watch MMA. He knows nothing about it. He even admit, you know, you remember he flound. Well, when he was talking about the fight, and he goes, "Oh, there'll be no knockdowns," and you're like, "What?" What he meant was takedowns, right? He doesn't even know the right, the right terminology. But that's okay, man. You know, that's fine. You don't need to watch UFC. So we got Hamzah, Sheeraz, he's Liam Williams. And these are two guys I quite like. Liam Williams, I don't know, man. He disappointed me against Eubanks Jr. I thought he had a shot there. His toughness, you know, his chin seemed to crack a bit. You know, he's got that big head, so you expect him to take a shot. Right, and he got a bit fruity when in Ingle Gym. I can't remember what it was he said, but there was something fruity. And Ingle Gym, I think you have to be a Batimans to go there now these days. That wasn't the case, when Brendan was there. Well, there was, he used to apparently teach the kids there to whack off. And that's not right, man. Yeah, I'm not saying he used to stand around and circle jerk, but he used to tell them to whack off. Don't bother the girlfriend, just whack. Well, mate, you shouldn't be saying that shit to kids. Yeah, and don't have a girlfriend. What, you want to do Batimans? Well, no, it worked for your sons, didn't it? There's something very odd about the Ingle Gym. You know, there's some very haunted faces that come out of that gym, and weird lifestyles. It's mainly for brown men who are into Bati business. But Liam's not brown, but I don't know. It seems to try some fruitiness. Maybe it's a prerequisite for going to the modern Ingle Gym, and that's probably why the Triple Venables goes there. I said I wouldn't talk about it, I don't, but I started man rinsing the pussy because he loves to watch my videos. Here, you fat mug, you're a loser. Right, so let's talk about Hamzah, Sheeraz, and Liam Williams. So, like I said, Liam Williams, to me, he was a warrior. He's one of these fighters that's a warrior, right? Extremely tough, that old Welsh. He's made guys swallow it just by staring in their eyes, man. I don't know if you remember a prospect called Ahmet Patterson, a good prospect, unbeaten. Yeah, he apparently hurt his eye. They had to go to the Moorfield Hospital. Yeah, right. He got attacked in the street. But he's come back anyway, and he's had a fight recently, which is kind of interesting. But he was a good prospect. I don't know, but Liam stared him in the eye, man. And he didn't want any of that smoke. And weirdly, the Patterson dude has gone on to being a YouTuber apparently, which is good. It's a much better way to make a living than being punched in the mouth. Being punched in the mouth is dangerous, right? But back to Liam Williams. His last fight was a stoppage against, some average guy. Nizar Trimek. I don't read too much into that. Chris Eubank, he lost on points, right? Which before the fight would not have been like outrageous. I'd be like, yeah, that would seem the safest thing. Although I hope Liam could get on top of him, right? But the problem was, Williams was flawed 4 times: the first, second, fourth, and 11th round. He wasn't even getting caught early. He got caught in the mid round, just about, and in the closing rounds. It's not a good performance, especially for a guy as tough as Williams with a big head to take much of that tough Welsh big head, right? He's got a few. He beat Atlantes Fox, who's now maybe more of an upper level journeyman, but at the time he only had 1 loss. He's got some decent wins. Mark Heffron, unbeaten, stopped him. Right? He lost to a majority to Liam Smith, although most people think he probably lost it, quite clearly. I think previous to that, he retired in 9 rounds with a cut against Liam Smith again. So not bad performances, yeah. Michael Lomax KO'd him, one, a decent fighter. Ronnie Heffron, again, retired 6. Sorry, that's the other Heffron brother. He's done both of them. Tyan Booth, he got a technical draw against Tyan Booth. Booth had I think, a head clash, so that's a technical draw. So, he's always been a solid British level fighter, right? He's been a solid British level fighter. I suppose you could say when he stepped up to world class, like Demetrius Andrade, he lost to UD against him. If you count Eubank Jr. as world class, he lost to UD. Liam Smith, he lost some points. So you got a tough guy here who loses at the top level, right? So it's just below, if you like, just below, genuine top world class, But he'll give him a fight, believe that. And in his opposing corner is one of the new wave of British Asian fighters, originally from Pakistan. And he's from Slough. I used to work in Slough, man. It's a dive, man. Get out of there. He lives in... Hamzah he moved to Ilford and Essex. I know what Ilford and Essex is like. I think Nigel Benn used to live there. But get out of Slough, man. Rain them bombs on Slough. They said, 80 years ago, was it? Betjeman? Rain them bombs on top of Slough, blood. It's even worse now. But yeah, Hamzah, a.k.a. Mohammed Sheeraz. I don't know what that's about, why he's got 2 names. But so they say he's 6'3", as opposed to Liam Williams is 5'10". But, I've seen Sheeraz. Wasn't he near, was it Joe Joyce? He seemed as tall as him. He's 6'6". I think he's grown, Sheeraz. He's the one guy who's underestimated. He really looks 6'5". And I like these suits he wears. He comes in wearing suits. He's a polite young man in a suit. And if you're into that kind of thing, Princess Diana, no doubt would have been into it. He's quite good looking. He looked like no homo. You gotta say that. He looked like Tito. Goodfellas, Tito. Billy Batts' friend in the club before Billy Batts gets his head pounded. Tito. He reminds me of Tito in his suit, man. I think it's a good look, blood. So. Well, like I said, it's a super fight. It's like the tough old boy if he's an up-and-comer, right? And it's not necessarily a foregone conclusion. I think it's absolutely not a foregone conclusion, right? Yeah. Hamzah has been looking good. He's been stopping people. He's stopped, something like his last 10 opponents or more. Yeah. 12 opponents on the spin. He's stopped. There's some reasonable fighters in there. I don't know, this Dimitri guy, Mitrofanov, had a good record, but when you saw him coming, he's fat. That's nonsense. That's his last fight. We knocked out in 2 rounds. River Wilson Bent, again at his level is okay, but KO'd in 2. He'd been moving up. Bradley Skeet. Now this one's controversial because Skeet did really well. Yeah, Skeet is known as a good guy. Although he's been, I don't know, man. He's got all these female fighters right on his roster because he's a trainer now, isn't he? He's a bit creepy with them, stroking their hair and putting his hand on theirs. That's very creepy. What's that woman called? Francesca Hennessy, who I'm gonna do a video on too. Believe that. No one gets away from the Triple B roasting. But yeah, Bradley Skeet, man, he was like putting her hair back, and yeah, he was being a bit too, what's the word, tactile. I didn't really like that. But Bradley Skeet, so Hamzah was hitting Skeet on the floor, right? But it was like solid shots, right? and that's got to be an immediate disqualification. Yeah, he took a point off. Huh? The excellent referee Steve Gray. Steve Gray should be put on IGL duty. Funnily enough, the referee was Steve Gray, and guess who were the judges? Howard Foster, Ian John Lewis, and Bob B.F. Williams, 3 of the worst referees and judges. No, not triumvirate. There's 4 of these guys. Gray, Foster, John Lewis, Williams, 4 of the worst, most biased refs and judges in the UK. They should all have their license ripped out of them. But anyway, yeah, so that's for the W European Super Welter title, which is only a 10 round, which is whack. Who cares about that, man? Yeah. Even Prince Patel has better belts than that, fam. No, for real, he's got the Commonwealth, which should be eradicated as well. What does a Commonwealth belt mean? Oh, we used to be owned by Britain. Who cares, man? Commonwealth Games, Commonwealth belt, get rid of it. Also it's got like, Batman's belt on it. It's got rainbow ting on it. Yeah? Horrible belt. Horrible belt, that is. Horrible belt. I don't want that ting. I wouldn't fight. I would refuse. I'm not fighting with that ting. I looks like the Batman's belt. So, we have the classic, up and coming prospect, the hard puncher, V's, the weathered, the strong, experienced pro who's fought at world level. It's again, I got to thank Fish Eyes for these kind of fights. Like I said, even though he's back in the Ngannou nonsense, Tyson, I suppose he has to really, but it's a bit, it's cringe. He's even on the other card of that. He's got Adelavies, Wardley, so. We're getting some good fights here. We eating good in the UK. We eating good, blood. We eating fine, right? Now, what's the outcome of this fight? Well, I mean, Liam, despite the fact that he's been around, he's still only 31. Okay, and he's a tough Welsh guy, as I've said. He's reached his level, but that's not an insult. His level is decent. European, British level. And touching world class on, although maybe not now. The real worries are the issues of the knockdowns against Chris Eubanks Jr. What are Hamzah's issues? So, like I said many times, tall, skinny guys usually can't take a punch, and some people say that Chubby's not making no remarks on this because he don't want to get accused of no racialisticalism. All right, no racialisticalism. Okay. But some people say Asian fighters can't take a punch. I memean, I don't know. I mean, everyone's an individual, right? I'm sure there's some Sikh with a chin of iron out there, but maybe he's not a boxer, He's maybe the local bouncer, some great muscular Sikh or something like that. Who knows, man? But Danny Garcia's father said that about Amir Khan. Of course, he was right about Amir. With a chin, Amir would have been... another level above. He's a genuine world-class fighter, but he would be another level above, you know what I'm saying? But he had no chin. And then there's, what's the guy? Uzi Ahmed, poor old Uzi. I got a soft spot for Uzi, because you got to take a risk and do that stupid dancing, and then you got ironed out, flattened, yeah. But and he became a meme, but these people know who he is, but then again, getting known for being knocked out is not really... Not really a bonus, huh? What a poor Uzi, properly flattened, yeah. Flattened and around by Ashley Sexton. Ashley Sexton can show that for the rest of his life and laugh about it. Yeah, he had a hard time after he retired. God bless him. Right. So we got to ask who's going to win the fight, and that's the only real question. The only question of any value to a preview: who's going to win the fight? Now, obviously, I like to give 2 things. When the fight gets announced, I'll give my initial thoughts. And then when it gets closer, especially the week of the fight, then you make your final prediction. Because things can change, like in training. You see how they train, you see the press conferences, see how they look on the pads, these kind of things. See how they look at the weigh-in even, Although these days most guys come in so ripped anyway. Because PEDs, nutrition, supplements, people know what they're doing now. Right? But so I mean, the main worry is for Sheeraz, to me, is untested chin, and also he got I believe that what's his face, Bradley Skeet was given an awful lot of trouble and was winning that fight, right, until he got caught with a shot on the knee, which is not right. probably a good learning fight for Hamzah, but whatever. And Liam, it's whether his chin's gone, because getting floored 4 times by Eubanks, he's not the biggest puncher. He can punch, but Liam, for a guy with a rock hard head, it's not good. So those are the two things we're thinking about here, right? And I've got it's a tough one. It's a tough one at this stage. I would lean towards Sheeraz. Like Fish Eyes does not. He'll take risks, and this is a risky fight, but he has to take risks and move his fighters up. Right? You can't just have them fighting bums all the time. You remember Ricky Hatton used to fight bums all the time. Well, he was a genuine world-class fighter, and they was fighting the WBU title. They weren't complete bums or anything, but they're level below what he should have been fighting. But I guess the money was being made, so who cares? So business-wise, you could say that's good business from Fish Eyes, and he's been in business long enough. He makes mistakes, still, Thinking Dubon was going to be the best thing since sliced bread. And he's not even as good as Bruno. I mean, Bruno made money, but Dubois was never going to have that kind of that kind of profile, was he, Dubon? Right? And then who else? Oh, you got the Joe Joyce. Yeah, Joe Joyce Dubon fight totally wrong. And the Joe Joyce Zhang fight totally wrong twice. So unless he's been doing it underhand, which is nothing beyond Brick Top Fish Eyes, because he is that way. But what's his face? Liam. So if his chin, let's just argue that for some reason his chin was weak. I don't know, weight, he didn't train right. I don't know that night. But I mean, it has to be some indication that he's not as solid a chin as before. There just has to be. But let's imagine that it's not as bad as he looked that night. His chin, yeah. Hamzah can still punch. I'd say last 12 fights by KO, and he scores a lot of KOs in the second round. The second round and the sixth round seem to be his favourite rounds, right? Second round especially, man. So, I mean, I don't think he'll stop Liam in the second round, although, Eubanks almost did, didn't he? So, it's not impossible. That's something of interest. I believe that Hamzah will be a little bit more, will know that Liam's a dangerous opponent, though, and will want to take his time. That's what I assume. Liam will try and use his old school tactics, rough him up, be a bit rough, try and get in his head, with his famous stare and his twitching. How he twitches, that brother. He's a frightening looking guy. I wouldn't want to fight him. I wouldn't want to be walking around the Welsh Hills and this man come out of the pub, red-faced, angry Liam Williams after a hard day down the mines. And he's taking a dislike to the Triple B. I'd be like, oh, blood clot, this is not what I need, man. And with a guy like Liam, once he's got his head that he wants to fight you, he's not going to go out of his head. You're not going to be able to talk your way out of it. He's going to want a good old fucking scrap. Anyway, at this point, I'm thinking Hamzah wins on a later stoppage. I think he would take his time. I'm talking 9 and 10. It wouldn't surprise me if it went the distance. It all depends on how degraded Liam's chin is. Is there a chance that Liam Williams will hit him on chin? Yes, he is a good puncher. 19 wins by way of big KO out of 24 wins. So there's definitely a chance that he will catch, a tall Sheeraz on the end of the chin and flatten him. Them tall fighters, like I said, often, I mean, he's not like Sebastian Fundora, but you know what I'm saying. He's tall blood and slim. So at this point, I'm going for the Sheeraz win, and at this point, I don't want to do a Dwyer and hedge my bets. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just think of it as an opinion from a complete stranger online. I love Dwyer's intro. Dwyer. If you don't know Dwyer, just look at his intro, brother. Yeah, so, I'm just going to have a little look and find out what the bookies say. But that's my pick at the moment. My pick at the moment is a Hamzah by late stoppage, all points. Right, so the betting is 5.5 on Liam Williams. And remember, decimal is the only price to follow. Not that nonsense fractional, the American plus 200 nonsense. And Hamzah is at 1.14. So if you don't understand it, you put £100 on Sheeraz, you win £14, and you get £100 stake back, i.e. £114 back. So you only win £14. If you go for £100 On Williams, you get £550 back. 450 of that is profit. £100 is your stake. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have to repeat it. Shorty. It's pretty easy, right? Do I think there's a right? I maybe slightly too much in favour of Sheeraz. I understand why they've gone for that. Sheeraz is obviously the big prospect. Williams did not look good in his last fight, but there are questions on Sheeraz from the Skype fight, the Skeet fight, from whether his chin is good, whether he's got the chin disease, right? So would I put a bet on Williams? At this point, I'm not going to make predictions on bet. It might be worth a $5 just for interest. I still got that feeling in my bones though that Sheeraz will win. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you've got that feeling, and you're like, But I will make a full prediction on the week of the fight. Peace in the Middle East, and please like and subscribe. You should have done it anyway, man. If you want to know truth, if you want good betting tips, if you want to know reality, if you want humor and comedy, and if you want world championship boxers randomly coming on lives, then check out the Triple B, y'all. Peace.